Hi everybody, I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Villaverde.
Welcome to The Balancing Act. We have lots ahead.
We're going to tell you about a groundbreaking medical advancement for a disease that affects mostly women.
And meet a patient who's been living with this disease for years now, but hope is on the horizon.
Then we go behind the scenes of yet another Broadway musical.
And in this one, fate has a lot to do with it, and it all starts right now.
Broadway Balances America, brought to you by Broadway across America, bringing the best of Broadway to a city near you.
We are once again heading to Broadway and beyond as our Broadway Balances America series takes us behind the scenes of some of the most beloved Broadway musicals as they travel across the country and into your local theaters.
The idea that a single moment can change the course of a person's destiny and the roads we travel in life, that's the premise of If Then.
Balancing Act correspondent Amber Milt recently sat down with the creative team behind this new contemporary musical to talk real life, real people, and what it takes to introduce an original musical to audiences. Take a look.
That's right, ladies. It's an ambitious and fascinating story about the intersection of choice and chance and how we balance that and the life we live.
I'm amazed you somehow found her. I'm amazed that she gave in.
Brian, tell us a little bit about the basic storyline of If Then.
Sure. If Then is the story of a woman in her late 30s. She's returning to New York City to sort of start over. And the show follows two different possible tracks that her life might take from her first day in New York. She makes one sort of seeming insignificant choice and her life veers off in two completely different directions. And so the show follows both of those directions over a period of some years.
It took years for Yorkey, along with his collaborator-composer Tom Kitt and director Michael Greif, the Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award-winning team behind Next to Normal, to bring If Then to the stage, a very personal story for both.
That's good. I came to New York to find my life, and I really did, both in finding Brian to write musicals with, and also I found my wife at Columbia. I wonder what would have happened to my life if I hadn't been there at that time. I certainly wasn't. It's gratifying and comforting and wonderful to have this group of collaborators that continue to challenge me and support me and help me to tell the stories that I want to tell.
The show reflects the sensibilities of modern audiences with its contemporary approach and attitude.
Because it's contemporary, because it uses language that people use but not necessarily always makes it onto the stage, and because it's about the concerns of a certain character, but I also knew that the people for whom it resonated, it would resonate very strongly because it was very much about the way we live our lives today.
New York City acts as a central character in this unique story about fate, random connection, and the sense of possibility which makes city life so interesting.
You could turn one corner or the other, run into someone, meet someone, see something that changes your life. It seemed to us that cities were especially full of that kind of possibility, and especially New York City.
The music is incredible, and it drives the emotion of the story and really creates that energy, that kinetic energy of a city.
Since its Broadway debut last year, the show has garnered several Tony nominations, including one for Best Score. And it strikes a chord with the talented, award-winning actors who originated the roles.
It was so awesome to get to see you rehearse and to hear you sing. What an incredible voice you have.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to play Kate?
Kate is one of the best characters I've ever played. It's a lot of fun. She's ambitious and optimistic and just loves life. She's that person that you have in your life that no matter what happens, they find a way to see the good in it. That's Kate.
To me, this show is so much about the ripple effects of life. The tiniest little pebble can make huge changes in anyone's life. And I get to live out both of those situations.
James Snyder originated the role of Josh on Broadway.
Oh, here I go.
It's a play about choices, but really about how we react to those choices. It's coincidence almost that I'm married to my wife and how I met her and all of that crazy thing. If Then is about embracing wherever you're at now and appreciating those choices behind you, but realizing that in this moment you have a choice to be your best self and your most authentic self and to take that forward.
Now, all of us can relate to the heart of the show, which reminds us to love and accept the things we have in life. Those chances of fate that become our own if-then moments. For me, it happened about 6 years ago. I was working on a story about the Philly fanatic, and the producer at the time said, "Hey, I know this crazy Phillies fan. Would you mind if he came into the edit room to see the piece before it goes to air?" I said, "Sure, why not?" This guy comes in, we get to talking, and wouldn't you know it, a few years later, that crazy Phillies fan became the man that I married.
A quick if-then moment? Yes, when I met my husband, who is no longer with us, but we both got our hair cut at the same barber. And had I not chosen that barber and gave him my black and white 8x10 to hang up in his salon, then my late husband would not have seen my picture and found me on the street later on and asked me, "Hey, is your picture hanging up in it? Is this his hair salon?"
In 1994, I was a young actor living in New York. I was really struggling. I'd had some minor success to that point, but I was in a really low point. I'd gotten very close to some big jobs in that year that had I gotten those jobs, I wouldn't have been working at Starbucks, available to audition for this little workshop, this little musical that I'd never heard of called Rent. And then, of course, getting that job made all the difference in my life.
If Then is intentionally thought-provoking.
One of the things that Brian and Tom do so beautifully in their writing is they explore the complexities and the subtleties of our lives, and they ask more questions than necessarily provide answers. They just ask us to think about our lives in ways that we might not.
I hope that people will look at their own lives and think about where they are and feel empowered to keep making bold and decisive choices about the lives they want to live.
I'm a pretty avid poker player. Poker is, like so many great games, it's a metaphor for life, you know. It's about responding to whatever comes your way. And, you know, yes, of course you have to try to make the right choice or the best choice, but still, even when you do that, crazy things can happen.
Anticipation is high as the first national tour launches.
Yeah, that's great.
The expectations are really just hopes and dreams about getting to sit with different audiences in different cities and feel what they are getting out of the piece.
Because I look forward to finding new moments in these new cities with these great new audiences, so I'm excited about it.
The North American tour of If Then has just launched and is coming soon to a theater near you. Check out BroadwayBalanceSAmerica.com or go to our website, TheBalancingAct.com, for all the show information, tour dates, and more.
Thanks, Amber. I really do love shows about real life. You know, our everyday struggles and triumphs.
So do I. And speaking of which, coming up, hope for a disease that impacts mostly women. Stay with us.
Now you know. Travel tips.
When you think of road trip, what comes to mind? Do you think outside of the box, quirky, fun? I do. I'm at Miami's Little Havana, more specifically Domino Park. We're talking dominoes, fun, cigars, and Cuban coffee. Café cubano? I need some right now. Qué rico. Okay. Road trips mean taking lots of pictures of fun, even quirky places. How about Elvis's gun collection in Sparks, Nevada, or the world's biggest soup can in Napoleon, Ohio? How about riding a big, cool rooster? Just kidding. How about a big, cool car? My producer, Chris, found a place he will never forget.
From the big soup can in Ohio to these big cars in Amarillo, Texas. Cadillac Ranch is a must-see on your next road trip. So get your kicks and take your picks along Route 66.
And wherever your next road trip takes you, make sure you find a TA or petrol stopping center along the way. See you next time. Hasta la próxima.
Now you know travel tips. Sponsored by TA and Petro Stopping Centers, coast to coast. Refuel, replenish, refresh.
For decades, the autoimmune disease called lupus has been one of the greatest challenges known to medicine. It affects millions. Its impact on all aspects of patients' lives is nothing short of catastrophic. And listen to this, about 90% of its victims are women. As for a cure, all medical efforts have failed to find one. Today we're going to share what could be one of the biggest medical breakthroughs of our time. First, let's learn about lupus from autoimmune disease clinician and researcher Dr. Yvonne Scherer and one of her lupus patients, Althea McKenzie. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us, Olga.
Althea, let me start with you. How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was 25 years old.
And how did that change your life, dear?
It significantly changed my life because my life is not my own anymore.
And that makes a huge impact on just what you do. For example, I know we were talking and you can't drive?
When I'm not well, I do not drive.
And I don't even think you can go out in the sun, right?
That's correct. You have to wear sunscreen, have an umbrella, and also have your car windows tinted.
I know you were a model, you were a runner, you were doing so many things that I'm assuming then just...
Totally stopped.
Emotionally? Physically, spiritually, what did that do to you?
It's very depressing, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. Your life is just not your own. It is controlled by how you feel and how your disease is at the moment. So if you're not feeling well, you're not going to go anywhere. You're afraid to go anywhere because you might get sick.
And doctor, let me bring you in quickly. A lot of people hear lupus, and what is it, and what does it do?
Lupus is an autoimmune disease. That is, the immune system is turned against itself. Instead of attacking a virus or bacteria, it's attacking your own tissue. And that can be manifested in a host of different ways. Every organ in the body can be affected, from the brain all the way down to the toes. You can get rashes, sores in the mouth, swollen lymph nodes, arthritis, just every organ can be affected.
And I was reading here, Althea, and I know you experienced all those symptoms that the doctor was describing, but you can't work?
No, I do not work.
You live with your parents, I believe?
That is correct.
What about your social life, finances?
My social life is limited depending on, how I'm feeling, and finances is just, it's a strain because so much medication, so many medical bills, and not working, my income is limited.
Suffice it to say that it's paralyzed your life, if you will.
It is correct.
Doctor, let me bring you back in. From a treatment perspective, why is this disease so challenging?
Well, for a number of reasons. One is because every patient is different. And one patient may respond to a drug, another patient won't respond to the same drug. And now, in this current healthcare system, is getting the drugs paid for because there are very few drugs approved for lupus. And so when we have to use unapproved drugs that will save people's lives or at least help, often we can't get it covered.
And I want to go back to the statistic here. 90% are women.
Yes.
Okay. And now, when it comes to age and race, is it anyone or is it a certain race, a certain age?
Anyone can get lupus.
Okay.
Male, female, any race. However, having said that, it's more frequent in women of childbearing age, and it's more frequent in women of color. African American, Afro-Caribbean, Hispanic seem to have more frequent disease and more severe disease.
Are there symptoms to look out for?
There's no specific symptoms.
Okay.
Women can just have fatigue and just not feel well, or they can have a rash and arthritis. But you can't be limited by symptoms because people can present very differently.
I can only imagine what a cure would mean for you and for so many millions of people out there.
Definitely getting my life back and being in control.
Well, today we're going to talk about hopefully getting your life back, medical breakthrough. So stay right there, please, ladies. And coming up, an exciting medical breakthrough in the fight to cure lupus. There's hope here this morning, isn't there?
Yes.
Yes. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about one of the most devastating autoimmune diseases in existence, lupus. An astounding 90% of its victims are women, and until now, there's been no cure. But listen to this. Our next guest truly believes that's all about to change. Joining us now is Miguel Seeler from Neovax, the French laboratory that says it's closing in on a cure for lupus. We're also rejoined by lupus expert Dr. Yvonne Scherer and her patient Althea McKenzie. Miguel, encouraging. I want to hear what this new treatment is because we've heard from the doctor what lupus is. We've heard what it's done to Althea and millions of other people. What is this new treatment and how does it work?
This treatment is a therapeutic vaccine which enhances the immune system of the patient to give the appropriate response to the disease. We enhance the immune system to produce self and polyclonal antibodies, and these polyclonal antibodies will neutralize the protein which is produced in excess by the immune system and which therefore has produced this disease. So by having the immune system of the patient giving the appropriate response, we think we are on the right way.
So you're using, and from what I'm hearing, and clarify for me, that you're using the patient's own immune system to fight the disease.
Exactly. That's what we call active immune therapy. That's to say we do not administrate a drug, a foreign body, against the immune system could eventually develop antibodies to fight the antibodies. We program the immune system of the patient to produce the appropriate response to the disease.
Clinical trials going on right now?
Yes, we have a phase 2b trial going on 166 patients in Europe, Asia, and Latin America, and we plan phase 1-A trial in the US in the upcoming year.
Doctor, how do you feel about this one?
The potential for this drug is just phenomenal. It'll be safe, not immunosuppressive, effective, and tolerable. And I tell you, if it holds true to that, we will just rejoice because it's been a long time coming. In the last 50 years, only one drug approved for lupus, and that drug isn't immunosuppressive and does have some safety issues, where this drug may not have those same issues.
Miguel, when might this be available here in this country?
It's still a long way, we have to admit that.
Okay.
We are in phase 2b in many countries of the world, but I guess for being available in the United States, we still have 3 to 5 years in front of us.
Althea, I see you looking at Miguel. I see the face glowing, a smile. What would this mean to you? And I'm sure you could speak on behalf of so many people out there.
It would be like winning the lottery.
I can only imagine. For information on this new treatment and anyone out there who may have lupus, Miguel, where do they go to? What's the website?
Just go to neovax.com.
And I do want to let you know that because of a wonderful dance teacher that we have for the children, we actually partake in the lupus walk every year. My girls and I, you see them right here, and they even are creating that awareness. Althea, really important, creating awareness and finding that cure, right?
That is correct.
Thank you so much for being here. And for information on lupus, where do they go?
They can go to lupus.org.
Good luck to you. And I want to promise from you that when this treatment comes out, and I have a feeling this is going to be a winner, you come back and let us know.
I definitely will.
And I want to hear that you're modeling again and going out and going to the beach and doing all the things you want to do.
Definitely.
Yes, God bless you. Thank you so much. Doctor, thank you for your time. And Miguel,
You're
we
welcome.
look forward to having you back, hopefully in the next few years.
We work hard on that.
Thank you so much. And of course, if you'd like more information on lupus, head to lupus.org, or you can always go to our website, thebalancingact.com. There is hope here. Wow, what a positive attitude she has. I love it. And hopefully a cure is just around the corner.
Oh, I hope so. We'll pray for that. And don't forget to check out Broadway Across America, coming soon to a town near you.
And that's our show, but always head to our Facebook page and our website, thebalancingact.com, and follow us on Twitter. We've got so much there.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.